sorry you missed me. I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Thank you and God bless.
Welcome back. It's 11:25.
Got the news on Friday morning, but
that's Toby Keith. You heard the voice on the answering machine, Wayman Tisdale, Tizzy. This gives me goosebumps. This one, and I talked about this song when it first came out, and it's become a hit, but because it's a wonderful song, but it hits home to us here in the Valley, and it hits home to anybody who loves the game of basketball and loved the smile that is and was Wayman Tisdale. Welcome back. It's Kevin McCabe, McCabe and Friends. We're live out in the East Valley. And now his story comes to film. And I'm so excited about this, and I'm so excited to have our next guest to talk about it. It's called The Wayman Tisdale Story. And here is the producer-director, Brian Schodorf. And I hate to say it seems like a no-brainer, let's do this story. Because it was such an unbelievable story. But where did the thought? When did you decide to put this all together? Because I've seen the clips. It involves some great video, great story, great interviews. When did it all come together for you?
You know, TNT and ESPN were running stories on them. And I remembered seeing the stories last year over Christmas and Thanksgiving about Wayman. And it was a no-brainer. It's like, you watch it, Wayman I was just in awe of Wayman.
And we were. We all were. Because it's an amazing story. And I guess like what you've done in this documentary, it's called The Wayman Tisdale Story. And people can check out a little clip from this because it is amazing and unbelievable behind-the-scenes footage. He lost his leg and had the prosthetic leg. The WaymanTisdaleStory.com. But I think part of it, too, a documentary, if you wrote this story, you sent it to Hollywood, they wouldn't believe it because it's so unbelievable and so wonderful. They say they'd reject it, but it is true and it is life, isn't it?
It shows you that life is up and down. You can be as high as you've ever been. You know, he was eight top 10 jazz albums. You know, how many times do you see an athlete actually successfully go from basketball to music? It's been done a lot. I mean, it's been tried a lot, but Wayman is one of the only guys who actually did it. So, and then to kind of have it all taken away from you, just like that. And to be able to take that and accept it and go ahead with life with the same attitude, you know, uplifting, positive, be an example for other people to lead by. It's just, you know, it's incredible.
We're talking with the producer and the director of Wayman Tisdale Story, Brian Schodorf. It's a documentary, and you've got some unbelievable interviews in there with Michael Jordan, his mom, Wayman as well. You've got the smile in there. How awesome was that for you to have this and be able to put it all together and then see the finished product?
Well, it was just unbelievable being able to sit down, interview these people, then go back and edit it. I remember just when we first met Wayman, and we actually went to Memphis in April, and first met Wayman at his concert, and the concert was incredible. The guy was unbelievable with the bass, and he had the place rocking. And then we were able to go to his home and interview him and his family, and it was just an honor. I mean, it's all about him. You know, he's the amazing one, and we're just lucky enough to be able to help him tell his story, and that's what it's all about. It's all about him.
He never let anybody feel sorry for him, which is so unbelievable. That's the thing, you know. Oh, woe is me. It was never that, you know, from playing. And I remember the story here in Phoenix when he played for the Suns, and they said, oh, he plays the bass and he's pretty good. And I thought, you know, there's a lot of athletes. He was really good. Power forward was unbelievable. And I think you tell the story that he played basketball because he was good at it, but his passion was music, wasn't it?
Well, he told me, he said, this isn't a game to me. You know, we don't do this for fun. This is serious, you know. We're not just a one-hit wonder. 6 records later, you know, 8 records later, they say, oh, this guy's the real deal, you know. That's what his real passion was. Yeah, he was 6'9". You know, I'm sure the gym coach in middle school said, Wayman, you need to put that guitar, you need to put that guitar down. and come in the gym. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you.
Little left-handed flipper, and he didn't miss very often. Great career at OU. And now it's a documentary, the Wayman Tisdale story. And before I ask where people can wind up seeing this or where they can chase it down, you got some help from a legend in the broadcast industry, and Bill Curtis. When you call him and he says, "Let's go," where, when, that makes it all. You got his stamp on it. Let's go. That's awesome, isn't it?
Well, Bill Curtis really. I mean, he's one of the only people I've met that has such a legacy in the broadcasting world. He's done everything. He pretty much built A&E from the ground. Before they're this big billion-dollar company, they had American Justice and Investigative Reports, cold case files. I mean, the way he goes about doing his business at Curtis Productions in Chicago, integrity, just quality journalism, which you don't see a lot anymore. So his insight into this story, couldn't get a better executive producer than that.
Well, I look forward to it, and the documentary, the Wayman Tisdale story. When will people be able to see this? Where will they be able to see this?
Yeah, well, you can visit the WaymanTisdaleStory.com. There's a short trailer on there. We're actually talking to a couple big broadcasters right now about airing it. I think you're going to be able to see it pretty soon, here around March Madness time this spring. It's definitely going to be out, and, the website will have all the information about where it's going. But, yeah, you'll definitely know. You'll definitely know about it. There's some big players who are interested.
Well, I think it's awesome. NBC, they have their little slogan, they can must-see TV. This is must-see film, the documentary, the Wayman Tisdale story, Brian Schodorf coming out around March Madness. Look for it, or go on the WaymanTisdaleStory.com. And I was in awe. He was a friend and a guy who, I didn't realize it, too, when he died, how emotional I'd get. And then the song came out by Toby Keith, and it tears me up.
Yeah, the son of a preacher. Fabulous preacher from Tulsa.
But sometimes that's hard, though. Sometimes that's hard. Sometimes they go the other way.
Well, Wayman said, people would think it would be hard, but it wasn't hard for them because he was so cool. They didn't want to disappoint him. And when Wayman talks about his music, he says, "I never wanted to make music that my parents wouldn't want to listen to, or my kids wouldn't want to listen to." So just, from the beginning, his convictions were solid, and he never faltered on them, even with millions of dollars. He never changed. That's what his brother says about him. He never changed.
This isn't fair. This isn't fair because I love him so much, and I know so much of the story. I'm hoping that people are sensing how much I'm looking forward to this. Again, hey Brian, I appreciate your time. What's next for you? I mean, you put the bar pretty high with this. What's next on your table?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'll send you.
What do you do for an encore,
Kevin?
I look forward to it. I really do, and I say
tell
this.
People what you think.
He just was such a beacon in that locker room, and it was so many personalities, like you said, with Barkley and A.C. Green and KJ and even a Joe Klein. But here was Tizzy and the smile and that little flipper, the left hand, and it was just awesome. And again, I didn't know. Everybody plays a little music, but that power forward, when that came out and the rest of his music, it's awesome. And I'm glad somebody was able to put this on film and tell his story. And I look forward to it. Okay.
Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, and I will keep you posted.
Great stuff. That is Brian Schodorf, and you team up with Bill Curtis on anything. There's one of the great storytellers ever in broadcast news from Chicago. Anybody from Chicago knows the name Bill Curtis is legend nationwide. The voice of reason. And for him to put his stamp of approval on something like this, I'm probably way too close to this story. I'm way too close, and this was really hard for me. It was a hard interview for me to do because I know the story. He fell. They discovered cancer. They had to remove his leg. He had a metal rod and a prosthetic foot. And there's a video of him smiling and laughing. Let's go. And he never did. The smile was so So I apologize, but I wanted to share the story with you guys, and I guess maybe that's selfish on my point, but I look forward to it. Go on the WaymanTisdaleStory.com. It's there's Michael Jordan talking about him, and played with him on the real estate basketball team. A.C. Green's in there, his mom. Great stuff. Look forward to it. I appreciate Brian Schodorf joining us there, the producer and director. And again, producer and director. This story tells itself. You send this script to Hollywood, and they go, it's a little too unbelievable. A guy doesn't really like basketball, Christian kid, 6'9". He flat out could flat out shoot the basketball in Indiana and Sacramento. Maybe shot too much, but great story. Look forward to that.